Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to guide you through how to use a food scale properly. It's super easy. A lot of people get it super confused or they don't know how to weigh something in an efficient manner, but truly, this is the best way to dial in your calories, your macros, your diet as a whole. Make sure you're able to get the goals achieved that you want and dial it down to the gram or however you want to measure it. So let's get into it right away. I'm going to show you two methods and both of them will be very helpful depending on what you're trying to measure. So let's get into it. We're going to start out with the addition method to measure. So let's start it off. To turn on our scale, all you do is hit the power button. Now from there, what we're going to be measuring is this white rice here. However, there's no possible way I'll be able to just pour rice on there like that. We all know this. This should be relatively obvious. Let me change it to grams on the scale by hitting our unit button. So let's start it off. Obviously, to contain the rice, we will need a container to measure it. So next thing, we will hit this tar button and that will take it out. So anything we add or remove from this point forward will be measured. So let's start it off. Let's add some rice. Let's say we want to go for about 80 grams. So slowly but surely add some rice. And if we're shooting for 80, we are at 87 right now. Now, the good thing about measuring in this method, we can take some away. So if we're trying to get to 80, right on the dot, then we just take some away. And there you have it. You have your 80 grams of white rice right in here. And you're free to pour that wherever. Put it in your rice cooker if that's what you're going for. So that is done. So that's the addition method in a container. Next thing, let's go to the subtraction method, which may be easier in some fashion for whatever you're working with. In this case, I don't want to put it in another container that I'm going to be dirtying because it's of course raw meat. And beyond that, this is the easiest way. So we put the whole entire thing on the scale in its container, take off the lid if you have to start measuring because you don't want the lid measured. So to start it off, we're going to hit the tar button now that everything is on the scale. And from this point forward, we're going to subtract from the entire container and it will tell us the difference. So I have my pan here, which I'm going to be putting these into. And in terms of subtraction, we're going to just start taking from our big container here. So right here, we have taken out 228 grams of raw chicken breast or chicken thighs right now. So 228 is exactly what we just took out. Let's go for a little bit more, be able to see. And the scale is kind of off center now that I've taken some weight off of it. So we'll fix that once I put it in my pan here. Make sure that it's fully even. So we've taken about 418 grams. And if that doesn't make as much sense to you in grams, then that's fine. We can change the unit right here. So I'll hit the unit button and go to pounds and ounces. So right now it's 0 pounds, 14 ounces, 0.7. So 14.7 ounces is what we've got. So just under a pound. And let's take, well, I think this will actually be good. I think 14 ounces is good for a starter meal for the day. So I'm gonna leave it there. That is the subtraction method. So now I have our rice measured through the addition method, and we've taken our chicken thigh measurements from the subtraction method. So let's do another example really quick. I'm going to be adding onions to my chicken. So first things first, I'm going to change this to grams or milliliters. It's ultimately the same way to measure, but we're going to have to take the lid off first because we don't want the lid in this measurement. So we're going to measure this how? What's the best way? Addition or subtraction? Well, in this case, we could do it either way, but because this pan is rather big, we could do the addition method and put it into what we're weighing on here, or we could do it the nice and clean way. I think most people would say measure it in the subtraction method, and we will just put it here. So we're going to do it that way. We're going to, of course, tar out everything, so it's not measuring anything that's on the scale currently. And from this point, we're going to take from the container and just add as necessary, add to our heart's content, honestly. In this case, you don't have to worry about something like onions taking away a bunch of calories for you generally. So we just put out 39 grams worth of onions onto our raw chicken breast here. And there you have it. You can dial everything in to a T. It's really super easy. It's the best way to follow a plan and make sure that you're going to get the results you want. All right, man. And with that, that is how you use a food scale efficiently, whether you're using the subtraction method or the addition method. Doesn't matter. Got our rice measured out, we got our chicken breast measured out, and we are good to go to start preparing. You generally always want to measure everything raw because that's how most food diary entries are actually measured. So starting it out at the raw material, measure it all out, cook it to your heart's content, and of course, keep track of any fats, any butters, any oils you add, and you should be good. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the other side.